Episode 4 picks up right where Episode 3 left off, and Johnny is getting a little bit jealous of the relationship between Daniel and Miguel. Even as he's teaching the Miyagi-Do kids, he keeps peeking over his shoulder to see what Miguel and Daniel are doing. As the classes end, Johnny asks Miguel, "Hey, you want to come over and grab some food?" But Miguel says, "I wish I could, man, but I'm going back with Mr. LaRusso. We're finishing up my mom's car." And while Miguel works on his mom's car, Johnny works on his mom's other car. Or at least he tries. Something I can commiserate to. He apologizes to a woman in bed for lack of performance. He just can't get the Miguel and Daniel relationship out of his head. Carmen, though, changes the conversation because she doesn't like the fact that they're sneaking around behind Miguel's back. Johnny's worried, though, that this could make things worse if Miguel found out. Carmen reminds him that Miguel loves him. As Johnny and Carmen discuss how they're going to tell Miguel or when they're going to tell Miguel, Miguel is at the shop with Daniel, realizing just how much he and Daniel have in common. When it comes time to leave, Daniel decides to be the one to give Miguel his first ever driving lesson. They're heading to a birthday party to meet up with Sam and Amanda. And that birthday party is the last place Sam wants to be. That is, until she sees who else is there. Tori got a new job, and it's working kids' birthday parties as a mermaid. And Sam is in her glory. She spends most of the birthday giving Tori crap at her job. Finally gets to the point where Tori convinces all the kids to throw a glitter bomb on Sam. When Miguel and Daniel finally do show up, Sam sticks the knife in a little bit more and makes out with Miguel right in front of Tori. That's the final straw. Tori grabs her stuff, she heads out the back, and she is out of there. But she's stopped by Amanda, who sees it. Amanda apologizes for Sam and says that she will talk to her about what she did, but also says, "You can't fault Sam for having issues with you after what you did." When Amanda brings up the situation with Tori's mom, Tori gets super defensive. Amanda backs off, but before she goes back in the party, she tells Tori, "No one can help you if you don't let them." Now back at the Cobra Kai dojo, Robbie stayed a little bit extra to help out Kenny. Kenny had an issue the previous day when the middle school toured the high school. Kenny was wearing his Cobra Kai stuff, having no idea that there's a legitimate turf war going on. So when he went to the bathroom, he was approached by Bert and Nate. Then Hawk came in and told Kenny, "You should probably get out of Cobra Kai while you still can." Kenny explained all of this to Robbie, and Robbie knows immediately who it is. But when Terry Silver, who has returned in the sensei role, overhears Robbie teaching Kenny about Miyagi-Do, he steps in. In an effort to assert his dominance, he challenges Robbie to a fight that he wins. When Terry picks up Robbie, he tells him, "You've learned to channel your anger, but you're afraid." Robbie shoots back, "I'm not afraid of anything." And Terry asks him, "Are you lying to me or yourself? If you want to be a champion, you need to dig out that fear and face it, whatever it is. Because if you don't, it's going to hold you back forever." Robbie then gets dressed and heads over to his dad's place, because he needs to talk to his dad about what Hawk did to Kenny. Robbie says if Hawk and them don't stop, they're going to have to face the consequences. And Johnny feels like Kreese has put Robbie up to something, but Robbie says no, he hasn't. "I'm just trying to help this kid out, but if your kids don't knock it off, I'll do what I have to." Johnny then tells Robbie how Kreese is brainwashing him, and Robbie says, "That's the difference between me and you. You put all of your trust in Kreese, and I don't trust anybody anymore. I'm just using Cobra Kai to get what I want." He then takes Terry's advice, facing his fear. And apparently his fear is that he ends up like his dad. So he looks Johnny in the eye and says, "I'm not going to end up like you, because I'm better than you." It's a really nice father-son moment. Johnny heads back into his apartment and he starts making dinner. He planned on having dinner with Miguel. A little bit of a surprise. He waits at the table for Miguel to get home and catches him going back into his house. But when he brings up the food, Miguel tells Johnny that he had an early dinner with the LaRussos. So unfortunately, he's going to have to take a rain check. He also brings up the fact that Daniel gave him his first driving lesson, and you can tell that that really hurts Johnny. Miguel then heads into his house because he's got a date that night, but he's not the only one. All of the kids are going to a drive-in movie to watch Bloodsport. That includes the Cobra Kai kids. Kenny, however, is being hazed pretty good by Kyler. Robbie actually has to tell him, "Hey, hazing's a good thing. It means you're being accepted." But as Kenny is coming back with this large order of food, he gets caught once again by Eli, Nate, and Bert. This time, however, Robbie sees it. He walks up to defend his buddy. The Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang kids end up walking up to defend Hawk. You got a good old-fashioned stare down going on, and Miguel says to him, "Meet us in the park in a half an hour." And the Cobra Kai kids do. They head to the park. But the Eagle Fang Miyagi-Do kids don't. They're waiting in a car because Miguel was well aware when he made this invitation that the sprinkler system was going to go off. And it soaks the Cobra Kai kids. The next day, it is all Cobra Kai can talk about, how they're going to get revenge. But it's not just them. Kreese wants to strike back. Terry, however, says, I agreed to come back to do what we originally set out to do. Turn kids into winners. If we're just going to rehash the past, then history is just going to repeat itself. But it's not like Terry is willing to just sit back and do nothing. So Terry and Kreese head on over to Miyagi-Do. They interrupt an argument between Johnny and Daniel, who have different ideologies about how the previous night went down. Johnny thinking it was cowardice, and Daniel thinking it was the smart play. But they both shut up when Kreese and Silver show up. Daniel especially is shocked to see Terry Silver back in the valley. Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought this sucked. Make sure to be nice in the comment section. If you don't see the next video up in the end screen there, I'll get it up in a few days, not to worry. And I have merchandise, so go buy a mug or something. It's never too early to think about Christmas gifts, folks. Once again, thank you for checking out this recap.